Look at it. A tiny speck of light at the very edge of everything. For 76 years, we called it a planet, the 9th planet, the final stop before the void. Then, in 2006, we took that away. This is Pluto. We reduced it to a dwarf, a leftover, a piece of frozen debris, a mistake. We erased it from the list. But here's the truth. Pluto doesn't care what we call it. So we sent a camera nearly 4 billion miles into the dark. A machine that traveled for almost 10 years at 50,000 miles per hour. And when it finally arrived, we expected a dead world, a frozen rock, nothing more. We were wrong. Imagine the journey. You leave Earth, you travel for a decade. The sun shrinks further and further away. By the time you reach Pluto, it's no longer a blazing star, just a distant point of light. No warmth, no heat, just a sharp glow in endless black. If you stood on Pluto at noon, the sky wouldn't turn blue, it would stay black. Permanent night. This is where we sent our camera, and this is what it saw. A giant heart, glowing faintly in the darkness. The internet thought it was beautiful. A symbol, a message, a love letter from space. But it isn't love. It's a scar. That heart is actually an enormous impact basin, nearly 1,000 miles across. Something massive struck Pluto long ago, and the crater it left behind didn't stay empty. It filled with something deadly. Frozen nitrogen, methane, carbon monoxide. A vast glacier made of toxic ice. And here's where it gets unsettling. That glacier isn't still. It's moving. Deep inside Pluto, there's still a trace of heat left over from its formation. That heat rises slowly, causing the nitrogen ice to behave almost like a thick, simmering liquid. Not boiling fast, but constantly shifting, flowing, never stopping. Anything that lands there doesn't last. Asteroids, debris, they're swallowed, dragged under, erased. A white sea that consumes everything. Now look at the edges of that glacier. Towering mountains, 10,000 feet high. Sharp, jagged, but they're not made of rock. On Pluto, it's so cold that water ice becomes as hard as stone. Those mountains are made of solid ice, hard, brittle, razor-edged. And they don't just sit there. They drift. Because ice floats. Imagine entire mountain ranges, the size of the Alps, slowly gliding across a sea of frozen poison. Silent, steady, moving toward you. Then look closer at their peaks. The snow isn't white. It's red. When faint sunlight interacts with Pluto's methane, it creates complex organic particles, red dust known as tholins. This dust falls from the sky like snow, slow, continuous, endless. It coats everything. Floating mountains, frozen seas, all stained in red. Pluto doesn't just freeze, it changes It transforms. It bleeds from above. And then there's something even stranger. That massive, heart-shaped glacier is incredibly heavy. Physics says it should have shifted Pluto's orientation over time, causing the entire planet to roll until that weight settled at the equator. But Pluto didn't move. Something is holding it in place, something deep beneath the surface. Scientists believe there may be an ocean under Pluto's crust. Liquid water buried beneath nearly 100 miles of ice. Think about that. At the edge of the solar system, where sunlight barely reaches, there may be a hidden ocean. Dark, pressurized, warm. And where there is liquid water, there is always a question. Could something be down there? We don't know. The ice above is too thick, the ocean too far out of reach. But the possibility remains. Quiet. Waiting. Pluto isn't alone either. It has a companion, its massive moon, Charon. Charon is so large compared to Pluto that they don't orbit the way most planets and moons do. Instead, they circle a point in space between them. Two worlds locked together, spinning in the dark. If you stood on one side of Pluto, Charon would hang in the sky forever. It would never rise, never set. Just a fixed presence, watching. Walk to the other side, and you'd never see it at all. And Charon has its own secrets. Its north pole is stained deep red. That color didn't come from within. It came from Pluto, gas that escaped long ago, drifting across space before freezing onto Charon's surface. Two worlds marking each other. As our spacecraft left, it turned back one last time. It captured Pluto passing in front of the sun, and in that moment, something unexpected appeared. A thin, glowing ring of blue light. An atmosphere. For just a moment, before we disappeared into the dark again, Pluto showed us something almost gentle. A faint blue sky wrapped around a black world. We stripped it of its title, called it a dwarf, cast it aside. But Pluto doesn't care. It will still be there long after we're gone. Long after the sun burns out. Long after Earth is nothing more than dust drifting through space. Red snow falling across silent mountains. A hidden ocean beneath frozen layers of ice. Waiting. For someone to return. For someone to knock. And maybe, just maybe, something down there is still waiting.
If you're curious about the limits of human space travel, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.